Alright, guys, so here it is. Finally, after DC and Image, or rather Todd McFarlane really hyped it up, Batman Spawn. Yep. Batman Spawn, written by Todd McFarlane with art by Greg Capullo. This was a one-shot they announced, but is it really a one-shot? Like, is it a one-shot? And I'll get into that in a bit. So Batman Spawn was announced way back at Comic-Con, and was a crossover that I was met with indifference, but the more we got closer to it, I was like, you know what? I want to read this because I am the crossover guy, so of course I want to give this a shot. And when's the last time we didn't have like a crossover that wasn't a mini series or, you know, like a maxi series or, you know, had tons of sequels? There was an era undreamed of where basically crossovers, especially from Image, were like one and dones or 2 parts at max. There was hardly ever a time where it was like a 5-part miniseries. So the fact that it feels like we've gone back to the old days. Also, this is one of the variant covers, which I kind of wanted more than the original cover. They had tons of variant covers, but I kind of wanted this one more. I don't know. This one was really like attracting me more. And like for some reason I was like more gravitating towards this one than the other variant covers. Probably because I just liked this Image looks way more like dynamic than Batman standing over Spawn. Like the idea of Spawn standing over Batman with his chains wrapped around Bruce is like is a cool image for me. The first original cover is more just Batman wrapping up Al in his like bat cables. He's all on the ground like beaten. So I was like, this one made more, like this cover just made more sense to me. So yeah. So Batman. The Batman Spawn book is a 48-issue comic that, for reference, there are now, counting this one, 3 Batman Spawn crossovers, and this is the first one in 2 decades. And the other 2 are really bad. The one by Chuck Dixon, War Devil, is god-awful. And the Todd McFarlane Frank Miller book that was written as like a tribute to Jack Kirby is fucking atrocious. So, without a doubt, the bar is really low. And I can honestly say that this book is probably the best of the 3, but that's not saying much, because the bar is so fucking low on the other 2. So what is Batman Spawn? Or, what is Batman Spawn? So this comic basically takes place specifically in the Snyder era of this book. Apparently, according to Todd McFarlane, he only was going to do this project if Greg Capullo was going to do the artwork. And yeah, Greg Capullo is a great artist, so that makes sense. He was only going to do this project if Greg Capullo was on the book, and according to him, McFarlane was only going to, like, he didn't have a story first, he just wanted to work with Capullo again like he did on Spawn. So, Capullo, throughout all, Todd McFarlane went to Capullo saying, hey, just give me just tell me what you want to draw, and I'll work a story around it. Because that's how you do writing. But then again, this is Todd McFarlane, what do I think I'm asking for? So, McFarlane apparently wanted to go back to the Snyder-Capullo era, the Snyder era of Batman, because that's where he did all his artwork. And also, there's clearly Snyder stuff in here, I'll get to that. And McFarlane was just like, yeah, I'll draw I'll write around it, I'll write a story around it. So the story is that it is the eve of, what else? The death of the Waynes. And also, for the same day, funny enough, it's the same day that Wanda was assassinated, and her soul was sent to hell. So the Court of Owls have basically manipulated Spawn to try to kill Batman, because they make him say, oh, it was Al Simmons who killed Batman. And I'm like, that makes no sense. He already knows who killed Wanda. It's a whole thing in the Spawn comics that came out like a while ago. And also, you already know your wife's soul is in heaven. You made sure of that. You went to hell to fight Satan to make him to have God come down and take her soul to heaven. You know this already. Unless I'm missing something from the Spawn books. Which, by the way, 2022 has been a year where I've gotten back into Spawn. And that's been with varying degrees of success, if I'm being honest. Positives are, Greg Capullo's artwork is phenomenal. Like, obviously, this cover, and let me show you, like, a really good, like, yeah, just these beautiful artwork, this beautiful artwork of the splash page. And, yeah, Spawn isn't written like a gibbering idiot, at least. He is written like a violent psychopath, but then again, what else is new? And Batman and Spawn are kind of at each other's throats. It's also weird that this book is, like, because Spawn says he's from the future, and, like, timelines are altering for some reason. We don't know why. It's apparently because this book's going to have a sequel involving what we've kind of wanted since the first book, and that is a team-up between Joker and Violator. Just when I thought this was going to be a simple one-shot, nope, fuck me, I guess. This is building up to a Joker Violator team, or Joker Clown, excuse me, because Violator and Clown are separated. But yeah, Joker and Clown are going to team up in what I assume is going to be the next book. And they clearly leave off for a sequel idea, for sequel bait. Yeah. And also, the reason why like I said earlier, one of the reasons why we know this is Snyder-era Batman is because Joker has his face cut off. Like, Joker still has he's wearing his old face that he cut off. And he does take off the mask, takes off his face, rather, and shows what was under there. Yeah. So, this book it's kind of infuriating because it's differing from, like, is it from the future? Is it, are Batman and Spawn, like altering time as it is? Also, they also bring up dead zones, which makes Spawn mortal, which I'm like, I thought Spawn locked all the dead zones in the comic, but fuck me, I guess. Todd McFarlane, the best way to describe Todd McFarlane is that Todd McFarlane does whatever the fuck Todd McFarlane wants to do. So yeah. Like I said, this is probably the best of the three Batman Spawn crossovers, but that's not saying much because the bar has been really low. It's not perfect, but it is really cool to see Batman and Spawn again. And Greg Capullo's artwork is, like, just load-blowing. For lack of a better word, it's just load-blowing. So would I recommend Batman Spawn? If you're a crossover guy like me, then yeah, it's $7.99. I'm looking at the price right now on the back. It's definitely worth your money, but just go in with the thought of Todd McFarlane is writing this book, and just keep that in mind. Anyway, so if you guys read Batman Spawn, just comment below, let me know. I hope you all enjoyed this review. This was a crossover. When it was announced, I was like, nah, I'll give it a shot, but as we got closer, I was like, yeah, it's just really cool to see Batman and Spawn meet again, even though the last two times it was really bad. But McFarlane seemed really excited this time around, like, because the last times the crossovers happened, even when he was working with Frank Miller, he was like, it felt like he didn't give a shit. This time it seems like he really did give a shit, and also it's, by the way, and keep in mind it is Todd McFarlane telling the story, so take it with a grain of salt, but the way he makes it out to be is almost like everyone at DC Comics was like gargling McFarlane jizz to have him do a Spawn book with them. So who knows, right? Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of this review. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.